With Amazing Digital Circus The Last Act now in cinemas, I thought I would do my honest review on the whole series. Now, this will be a spoiler review. Well, spoilers until... I won't spoil the last episode because obviously that only just came out. But I will do a kind of spoiler review at the end of for episode 9. So, yeah, be kind of lookout. But yeah, today, as I said, Amazing Digital Circus The Last Act is now in cinemas. People have you guys to go and watch it. And I just thought I would do my honest review on the whole Glitch production show. Now, if you want to see my honest review on the movie, Amazing Digital Circus The Last Act, that video is out now. And also, I will actually speak on that video. I want to thank you guys for watching that video, because that video is my biggest video that I hit 2.1k million views. I never thought that would happen, and we are close to 800 subscribers. I want to thank you guys. This fandom is so amazing. I'm never leaving it. I literally, as soon as I got back from watching Amazing Digital Circus, I listened to the music. I was doing some using a character AI, doing some roleplay stuff. But this show is so phenomenal. Okay, getting on to first how I got introduced to the Amazing Digital Circus. And as well, I will be kind of doing my thoughts on every single episode. So going from the pilot to episode 8. And like I said, actually at the end of the episode, there will be some spoilers for episode 9. So be on the lookout. If you don't want spoilers for episode 9, click off. So yeah, well, I guess that's the point, click off. Alright, getting on first how I got introduced to Amazing Digital Circus. So I was actually in the Murder Drones fandom first. So when that show was ending, there was actually there was another show coming out called Amazing Digital Circus. And when the teaser came out, it was created by a person called Gooseworks, who created this whole show. And when the teaser came out and Glitch Production announced this and they released the teaser, I was interested because this was me coming off the ending of the Murder Drones fandom, because I'm still in there, but kind of toxic at the moment. But when they did announcement and when they announced the cast, I thought they looked amazing. Like they got Leslie Freeman as Pomni, Michael Kovac as Jax, Ashley as Zubul, and yeah, I was hyped because Glitch Productions was doing some amazing stuff. And I have watched Marijuana and Sunset of Paradise. I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of those shows. They're not my kind of thing. So any fans out there, sorry. But yeah, when the finale, the actual episode came out on October 2023, I was there when it came out, and I gotta do my honor. Okay, get into my first thoughts on the pilot. Amazing. The animation is stunning. And the characters really cool. It's like they have the individual kind of feeling development. Like, okay, I first gotta explain who these characters are to people who have not watched Amazing Digital Circus. So, first character we have is the Ringmaster. His name is Kane. He's voiced by a guy called Alec Rochin, who, why do you guys think I look like him? I look like him. He's basically the Ringmaster of the Amazing Digital Circus. He's kind of the AI. He did create this. And yeah, he's kind of a ringmaster. He's a funny guy. Also as well. Next, we have Jax. Now, Jax is a very complicated character. He is voiced by Michael Kovac, and he's kind of like a school bully, but he doesn't really care. He's just making it go around, and he's one of my favorite characters. He is so interesting, especially if you watch episode 9. And he is just a really interesting character. Next, we got Ragatha. Now, Ragatha is kind of the mother of the group. She always tries to help people, try to calm them down. She does kind of force it on them, but she is such a sweet character, such a good. And if you've seen episode 8 or 7 of the bar scene, there is some deep stuff with her, and it is just gruesome. Next up, Zubul. Now, Zubul is, I think, voiced by Ashley Nicholson. I cannot remember. I think it's Ashley. And basically, she's kind of like an 80s kind of looking. Like, she's got, different body parts. And she's different with her. She never goes on Kane's adventures. She just dislikes them. So anytime he says, Kane goes oh, we're going to go this venture, we're going to this venture. She's like, Nope, I'm going off. I don't know if they really explain why she hates his adventures. I know in one episode she's like, "It's my body," but that doesn't really say why she does it. Unless she does, then I'm being stupid. Next one, Gangle. Gangle is a really sweet character. She's kind of a person made of ribbons, and she has this really special mask where, well, she has two masks. One is her crying, that's kind of her emotional, her sad face, and she also has a happy mask, which also shows she's happy. And she also has a creepy mask in one of the episodes. Really creepy, so terrifying. But yeah. Okay, last off is one of my favorite. Two now. We have Kinga. Kinga is such a good character. He was played by Sean something, and he is one of my favorite characters. He is so goofable. He is he's the person who likes to go around. He basically goes like, oh, hi, Pomni. And he's a chess piece, and he loves Butterfly. He likes to go in his pillow fort. He's just a really lovable guy, and he's just so sweet. And he's one of my favorite characters, especially when he, throughout the whole episode, he has to get better, which we'll talk about later in a minute. And, okay, getting on to the last character, Pomni. Now, this is the newcomer in the Amazing Digital Circus, because basically in the lore of Amazing Digital Circus, there is this headset where if you put it on, you go into the digital circus and you get trapped there. But we all know now by the episode 9, something's a bit different. And basically throughout this pilot, Pomni is trying to get used to the circus, and yeah, some things go wrong. And there's this new thing called abstractions, which are when you go like nuts or go crazy or go angry, you barely kind of changes into these creepy things, and you cannot change back. Even I think you can. I think they did that once in an episode, and the pilot was amazing. I remember watching it the first time, and I was just like, "Okay, this is my favorite show about English, but I'm gonna do this." And pilot was just amazing. Overall, I loved episode 1. Even though it's called pilot, I still loved episode 1. Alright, getting on to episode 2, the Candy Kingdom Mayhem. Now, in this episode, we have the whole gang going on this on this adventure where they go to the Candy Kingdom. Candy Kingdom? I'll just call it a Candy Kingdom. I know it's kind of like Princess Bubblegum, but I'm going to call it that. And basically, in the adventure, they had to stop these thieves from stealing syrup from the princesses, and we get introduced to, I'm just going to call her the Lollipop Queen, that's what she is, and they basically go to stop her, and we get introduced to a character called Gumigoo, which, rest in peace, and basically the gang is going to go on adventures, and yeah. But there is some very different stuff in this episode, especially with Gumigoo and Pomni, because Pomni and Gumigoo actually have some bonding moments as well. And there is a scene in episode 2 where they go down to, I'm going to say this, under the game, where all the NPCs are, and the way Gumigoo looks at his mates in absolute scares, and then he's like, what is this? Is that me? My mates? Also, he's Australian, which is funny as well. And I love the bond of Gumigoo and Pomni. Oh, also, we're going to talk about one of my favourite, and there is a creature called the Chocolate Monster. And he's in there, he got banned from the kingdom because he keeps eating all the people. Maybe don't eat all of the things people, you idiot. But basically, on the other side, the gang is trying to stop this creature, and we also have a sweet moment where Kingo has a bucket on his head, and Ragatha talks about her first time, but Kingo actually does talk about the sweet things, which we're getting into in episode 3, and episode 1 was just amazing. Episode 2, so amazing. Even though that ending shocked me when Kingo was like, "Oh, another one got in." Deleted part of it was like, "Holy hell!" So yeah, episode 2 was amazing, and yeah. Alright, getting on to episode 3, one of my favorites. Might be because it's a horror one. The haunted house one. When this came out, I was hyped because I'm a horror fan, and this being a Halloween episode, and it's Digital Circus, sign me up. So in this one, the gang are going on an adventure where they had to go to his haunted house to basically, I think, save someone, stop the ghost. Even though Jax, as soon as they meet a ghost, they're like, Jax is like, okay, Boston makes it feel good, and he's supposed to go with ghost. But Palmney and King, but there's two doors they have to pick. One is the horror one is the normal one, and of course Palmney and Kinga get trapped in the basement. And I'm just gonna say this is one of the best episodes I've watched, because Kinga and Palmney's dynamic in this as well was so sweet. And we found out in this episode that when Kinga is in the dark, his like memories and stuff come back to him, so he kind of comes back to normal. But when he's in the normal light, he can't remember. So that's why he's a bit thing with the dark. And that is such a sweet moment. And this one's actually really dark, because there are some creepy moments, like with the angel head and the body crawling after them when they get dragged to hell, and the possessed Palmney scared the hell out of me as well. This episode was just terrifying, but I really loved it, and I love the bond of Palmney and Kinga, and I was so happy. Why does this thing keep going back? But as well, I just loved episode 2. Okay, now getting on to episode 3, the Spudsies episode. Oh no, wait, I'm stupid. No, wait, I'm stupid. Episode 2 was the Kennedy Kingdom. Episode 3 is the Mystery of Man. My bad. Ignore I did that. I don't know why I did that. Ignore me. Episode 4 is Spudsies. And I have my thoughts. Episode 4, we follow the gang. Kind of... what can I say? Kane's a bit annoyed because he's sick of... actually, let me move this camera a bit. Sorry, it's bugging me. But we follow the gang, basically doing their own thing. And Kane's a bit fed up with them, not like his adventures. So they suggest a suggestion box. And in this episode, Gangle suggests one where she comes to store management. And I can tell she's done this before, because throughout the whole episode, she's actually pretty good at being a manager, but also she's creepy in this. Like, she tortures the gang. There's like a Halloween 2-3 moment where she like flashes. We actually do get some stuff with Palmney, Jax, and Ragatha. And it was funny seeing Ragatha on the stupid sauce. I wish someone could pull it with me. And we see some cameos, like the glowing queen, who was in episode 1, which I forgot talking about her. She was amazing in this, in episode 1. And we also see Gomugu. We see Orbsman who was in the adventure before Palmy joined. And we just basically get a bunch of cameos. And the scene as well, when Jax gets tortured by Gangle. Creepy as hell. That put me on the edge of my seat. And it was just creepy. That was just so creepy. And that ending a bit with Gangle going to the road, even though she nearly got hit by a truck. Jesus Christ. I'll say it as well. The animation got better and better and better. And I loved it. And we're going to talk about Kane. Kane was actually barely in this one, but it was adventure. And seeing Gangle's kind of... I liked it how this episode was about Gangle. And throughout the whole episode, I felt bad for her. She was just wanted to be happy. And just episode 4 was just so amazing. So nice. But I will say it's not my favorite, but it's a really good one. Alright, getting on to episode 5. This one's called Untitled. Now, this one is a bit different because Kane is just fed up now with people going, okay, I don't know why you guys want this. So throughout this whole episode, the gang go on different adventures that they picked. Like one of them was a hunting one that Jax says to do. we got President Pomney, we got a bar, we got some. Basically, if you've seen the episode, we got different type of stuff. And this episode, I would say, is one of my favorites, especially with the bar scene, because they're in the bar and they're talking. They're like, "So Pomney, what did you do when you were young?" "I'm 25 years old, Jax." And we found out that Pomney was actually a YouTuber, and apparently she stumbled upon the headset while she was making the video. How the heck do you find that? And we also found out that Zubul did look at the bartender bar, so she's kind of in a happy place. But Ragatha's backstory is the darkest one. So, trigger warning for because I'm going to be talking about some deep stuff. We find out that Ragatha used to lived on the farm with her mom and dad, with like pigs and stuff. But her mom wasn't very nice to her. If you know. And I felt so bad for her. And also, I forgot to mention as well, there is one in one of the adventures as well, we get the evil clones, and we get introduced to Evil Pomney, which I wish you saw her more. She was so funny. We go saw like Evil Zubul. Actually, Zubul didn't have one. No. Gango didn't one. Old man was Gango. We had Evil Ragatha, Evil Zubul. Pretty much everyone. Evil Jax made me hilarious. He's like, "Hey guys," so hilarious. But this ending, full show episode was amazing, and I just full on loved the episode. All right, getting on to episode 6 called "They Get All Guns." This one's a crazy one as well. Basically, because Kane has to make this favorite character award, and so he has no time to make adventures. So he just makes everyone shoot each other. And as well, I do love the scene as well where like Zubul like, "Do you really know what I want? I want to have the people." Even though that used to consensus for some reason, but I'm not. And we see throughout the whole episode is about Jackson Pomney, and I do like them as a dynamic. They were really fun in this, even though I felt more bad for Ragatha as well, because she was kind of getting sidelined by Pomney a lot. But I think it's because Ragatha was kind of getting onto her a lot, but that's Ragatha for you. Also, we do get to see more Gango and Zubul, and there was moments that was just so sweet. Them just bonding each other. Even at the funny scene where Gango gets the gun, they're like, "Wait, the girl goes, oh, say psychopath." That was so funny as well. And the fight scene as well with Pomney and Jax, that broke my heart. He's like, "We were never friends. If I would move on and forget you." But that episode 6. Also at the end, they do go to the favorite characters awards. No one gets voted. No, Kane doesn't get voted, and his eyes go. Which I felt so bad for him. Kane was just doing his best, and now we're going on to episode 7. Episode 7 is the beach episode, and this is when things go from normal to. So in episode 7, it is a beach episode where they basically have a beach episode, but they meet a character called Abel, who knows the exit, how to get out of the digital circus, but he is a bit suspicious, which I'll get to them as well. And basically the whole gang and him had to try and go to Kane's office trying to escape. And there is a lot to know about Kinga. There's like a hint in it that says, "Oh, Kinga might have been working to this." But we'll discuss that as well in episode 8. And the plot twist that Kane made this stuff shocked me as well. And when Jax hit the button, he's like, "You lied to us, you tricked us." And Kane looked scared, like actually scared. Like he was like, I didn't want what? And there was just some bonding moments with, of course, Jack just didn't want to be the part of the crew because obviously after episode 6, he is a bit with the people, and it just ends on the cliffhanger. Now, I do say I do love the Abel character, especially with the joke of there's like a guy in the office and they try to lock the door. He just opened it. He's like, "I'm free." Like, there are some goofy moments in this, but there's some very also serious moments. And yeah, episode 7, really good. And okay, now we're gonna get on the stakes. Now, just to say as well, we are nearly up to episode 9, so if you don't want any spoilers, be careful. Right, time for episode 8, called. That's literally what it's called. I'm not even kidding. Look. That's literally what it's called. It's called. Oh. Now, this was a kind of big one because Kane just snaps. Because he is fed up with the gang now. Because no one likes Avengers. People are being a bit jerk to him. And he just snaps. And this episode. Kane just goes nuts. He tortures the gang. He tells them he's God. I did love the song The Run of the Show. Such a banger. Alex, you did an amazing job. And the way they get tortured. Like, Pomni getting killed by Gumagoo and his friends. Zuba getting pulled on by parts. That sounds wrong. Gangle in a room full of moving stuff. Ragatha getting nice in her face by her mom. Ugh. And Jax getting peeled. That was disgusting. Also, we do get a kind of we do see them in the diner as well. There is, if you've seen the trailer for the Digital Circus where Palm is getting a knife thrown at her, that is canon now. So episode 8 is part of the pilot teaser. That was sick. Also, Kinga has now his blockade, so he's kind of back again. And basically, he is trying to stop Kane from going nuts. But he accidentally deletes him. And I actually felt bad for the gang as well. But I gotta say as well, I kind of was a bit annoyed at them as well. Because, one, you kind of did this on yourself. Like, he was just trying to help and do everything. And you kept bullying him, you kept telling him all stuff. And now this has happened. Okay. And he doesn't get deleted, and he gets deleted at the end. But boy. Alright. This is the moment you guys have been waiting for. So, if you're not seeing the movie, click it off. Click off right now. This will be full spoilers. And, yeah, there's going to be full spoilers for episode 9. I gotta say as well, this was the best. The ending was really good for the episode 9. Basically, in episode 9, this is what happens after episode 8, and they're just trying to figure out what to do. And Jax just does not care. He just gives up. He abstracts. That was crazy. I didn't know he was gonna actually abstract. And Kinga and the whole gang are trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? Kane's not here. We need to figure out how to get this place done. And basically, this whole episode is about Jax, which I'll say is kind of a negative. I wish I know we've seen a lot of stuff, but we didn't get really a lot of development with him. But I did love the flashback for a bit. Her voice actor, and Kaufmo! We finally see Kaufmo! And he was so amazing, the guy that did his voice to him. Did a really good job. Why is God next to me? Sorry, I don't know why God's next to me. But episode 9 did make me cry. Like, I was crying throughout the whole thing, and I was in a packed audience with other people. Like, there was just plot twist, shocking stuff, and the way Michael Kovac did such a good job in this. He was the best bit of the episode. And we get to see the human forms. Never thought we would see that. And Kane returns. My boy returns. And Yes, you're taking the time to apologize, and there is a lot of stuff. But I'm gonna I'm gonna try. Okay, I know I'm gonna say the spoiler, but I'm gonna do this is a half a spoiler. I'm not gonna do full spoiler because there might be stuff that I'm not stuff. And yeah, that was pretty much my full review of the whole show. I'm gonna miss the show so much. This show means so much to me. It is one of my fun comfort shows, and I actually will admit I think Digital Circus is way better than Murder Drones. No fans hate me. I know you Murder Drones are like, but I kind of want to see more. We don't know yet what the thing is. But tell me down below, what do you think of my review for? Well, actually, I should do my rating. I do give this thing a 10 out of 10. Love everything, and thank you to Gooseworth for making this whole show so amazing. Can't wait to see what else she does if she does come back. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of what Glitch Production does, like with Game Over, Gaslight District, Nice Guinevere, Lexus Daisy. So I can see it. But down below, what do you think of the whole Amazing Digital Circus show, series, and episode 9? But like I said, I just thought I'd run my full review. But if you want to see more videos by me, make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on social medias down below. And just to say as well, I made an Amazing Digital Circus Discord. So if you want to talk anything Digital Circus or do like pictures, fan art stuff, that'll be linked in my YouTube bio. There's already one person in there, Gaby. Gaby? I'll put the name at the corner here. If you're watching this, that review was amazing. But yeah, I'll see you combo fans. I'll see you Digital Circus fans. Later.